Welcome back to FLschool. Okay, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a track. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on a track. This is the way I work on in FL Studio. So there's depending on the producer, there's different ways to work on it depending on your layouts and how you do things. But today we're gonna do it the way that I know how to do it, which is to me it's probably the easiest way as I tried the other ways and it's a little bit more difficult for me. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, when you first open up your FL Studio, after once if you're new and if you just installed it, if you're new, then you'll probably get like a preloaded demo. Basically, it's already it's a track, basically a project that's already been loaded for the first time when you open up FL Studio. So once you close it out and then you open it, you open it and you always get your kick, clap, hi hat, and snare. Now this is called a template, which is your basic club template. Now what we want to do, as the way I do it, is I go to File, I go to New from Template, and I go down to Minimal, and I go to Empty. So now every time you open up FL Studio, it'll always open it with just a sampler, because a lot of the times you can use other templates. Let's say I want to use like a breakbeat, hip hop, or house, pop, and trance. You'll get different types of samples that maybe you got all these different plugins that you probably just won't use. So let's just go ahead and, for the meantime, put it in the minimal and go to empty, because this is how we're going to start our track. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What I had uploaded a sample pack, and it's on the right side of the screen. You can go ahead and download that, and if you want, you can work with me, use the same samples as me, or if you feel you can use your own samples. So whatever you feel is more comfortable for you. But once again, this is a video on how to make a track. Now it's not going to be the best track, because it's just to give you an idea of how to make a beat on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, we got this sampler. So to load samples, you can do it a couple of ways. You can go to Tools, or excuse me, you can go to Options, File Settings, find your folder, which is, in this case, the folder is called FLschool Sample Pack. You can click on it, click OK, and it will appear on your left browser, which is right here. Or you can just individually, or if you don't want to put your sample folder in your browser, you can just right click, load sample, and find your folder, and just loads the samples from there. But I do it this way because it's a lot easier, because your samples are right there. Most of the time I have a folder of so many samples, but this is just a demo of what I have. So here's what we have. We have a basic kick, we got a clap, closed hi-hat, punch kick, and the snare. So you want to transfer to here. Let's go ahead and start with the basic kick. You can do this two ways. You can drag and drop, or you can right click. You can send in, open a new channel, or select the channel, which this ain't being used. So let's go ahead and send to selected channel. And now you got your basic kick. Now here's another important thing. We're going to use the FX mixer, and the FX mixer is probably one of the most important things. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Another thing, always raise the volume on this, because you're going to control the volume in the mixing board. Click on this icon, and this is your insert one. So what you do is make sure this is highlighted, go to the drop down menu, go to link selected channels, or hit Control L, and you'll transfer this specific sample into this insert. Now let's go ahead and add in these other ones, but this time I'm going to right click and go to open a new channel, because I don't want to select on the channel because it'll just overwrite it. And I'm going to do that with the rest of the samples. Once again, I'm going to raise all these volumes up and click on clap. I want to put it in insert 2. Same thing with the closed hi-hat. And I'm putting these in each of its own insert. The reason why I'm doing this is because you can better control your music. Let's just say something is a little bit too loud, or if you want to add a certain effect on whatever sample, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with pattern 1, which is right here. We're in pattern 1. We're going to start off with the basic. Let's just go with a kick. You can click left click on these little squares. Now each, you'll notice that there's a gray and then there's like a dark brown or tan or like a darker color. That's where your on beat point is. You can do it this way, or you can right click and go to fill each step. You do click on that and you automatically do the 4. And let's go ahead and play that. Okay, so you notice that it's playing, and this is where it's activated in insert number 4. Okay, so the level's pretty good right now. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna try to add in. Let's go ahead and add in a hi-hat. Now what I'm gonna do is, usually I put it in pattern 2, but we're gonna see how it sounds with some hi-hats. You know, just put it anywhere. See what kind of groove beat we got going. Okay, so that sounds pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, go to edit, copy, go to pattern number 2, right click and hit paste. And I'll just get rid of this, or yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of this for right now. So let's go to pattern mode, which is your first icon right here. You click on that, and this is your pattern mode. So right here you have your kick. So you can name that. You can right click on the pattern or hit F2 and just name it kick. Same thing with the pattern 2, which is that closed hi-hat. So I'm gonna go ahead and name that closed hat. Now when you put them together, then you'll have this sound. Also make sure the song mode is activated to play in the playlist. Next, we're going to add in let's go ahead and do a little trick with, this is a basic kick. I'm going to try something different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here, and this is going to, what I'm doing is I'm going to give it like a different type of, kind of like a bass line. So what we're going to do is, let's play that. You'll hear a basic kick, which sounds like this. But let me go ahead and add in a punch kick, right click, 4 steps. And it's going to sound a little different, but I'm going to show you as I work and the type of effect I'm giving it. I gotta make sure it's in pattern mode. Now let's go and play that again. Okay, it sounds just like a drum roll. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click on this, make sure you're in the ins, the INS, and I'm gonna mess with this. It's just attack, and I'm gonna give it like a type of bassline sound. Let's go ahead and play that. Okay, so it's coming along, but I don't want to use it for every 4 bar. I probably just want to use it. Let's just try this way. Okay, so we'll just use it in this little part. Once again, we don't need this because we already have it in pattern 1. Get rid of that. This is pattern 3, so I'll just call this bassline. And let's go ahead and play that. Add in the bassline. And then let's go ahead and move on. And in pattern 4, I want to use a snare or a clap. So let's go ahead and try it with the clap. See how it sounds. I'm not going to name it yet. So I just want to make sure if that's what I want to put in pattern 4. Okay, so far it sounds pretty good. Now if you want to layer it, you can add in your snare to give it more of a full sounding clap. Okay, so this is the first part of the video. I'm gonna make another video. Since we only got 10 minutes on YouTube, we actually got about 40 seconds left, and then from there we'll continue on to the next session of this tutorial.